Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us again this week at Tea at 3 on Wednesdays. We're excited today to talk about one of another great locations or destinations, I should say, very close to us here in Atlantic Canada, and that's the Magdalen Islands. For those that joined us last week, that was our inaugural tea on Wednesday, and we had a wonderful turnout and lots of response in regard to the St. Pierre presentation. And I want to remind everyone that this session is being recorded, and anyone that is listening today will get a rebroadcast, which they can share with others. And those that weren't able to attend will also get the recording so that they can listen to it at their leisure later. There's a question and answer box there. If you have any questions, please type them in. And at the end of the session, we will answer those questions. If there's something that we don't get to, we will follow up with you directly by email. Like I said, the Magdalen Islands is located in our own backyard. It's accessible, of course, by ferry from Prince Edward Island. And all of our tours depart from Halifax, and we do pickups en route. So keep that in mind if you're joining in Dartmouth or Truro en route to any of our destinations. That's always included. And we also do some departures beginning in the Annapolis Valley as well. The other thing I wanted to keep in mind, if I haven't said it, I'm Richard Arnold, Director of Fun for Atlantic Tours. We've been in business as a company for 52 years. Our biggest market is bringing the world to see Atlantic Canada, but we do take Atlantic Canadians to see the world as well. And this concentration of webinars that we're putting on are looking at destinations closer to home. During this time, we know that when travel does return, and we're excited with the possibility that later in April that the Atlantic bubble will open, and we're even encouraged that places like the Magdalen Islands and St. Pierre may become part of that Atlantic bubble. So like I said, pour yourself a cup of tea or have a glass of wine and join us for this lovely local adventure. And with that said, I'm going to be co-presenting again today with one of our 5-star tour directors that's been with Atlantic Tours for many, many years. And she's going to tell you all about the Magdalens. Just like St. Pierre, I've never had the opportunity myself to go yet. It's been on my list, but during the summer months, it's always difficult to find the time. And hopefully, like I said, this tour will go in August 20th of this year. And if not, we will have a departure date in 2022 as well, and generally we go in August. It's the perfect time of the year. So with that said, I'm going to start off here with a map of Nova Scotia showing where the Magdalen Islands are located. I always use this visual when I'm talking to the rest of the world, because I said there's no accidental tourist to the Magdalen Islands. You have to make a concerted effort to get there. It's part of the province of Quebec, but like I said, there's a ferry from Prince Edward Island that will bring you over to the beautiful destination, and you can begin your exploration. Our tour will leave early in the morning because we are going directly to the Magdalen Islands in the first day. We used to do this as a 1-night Prince Edward Island, 3-night Magdalens. But the accommodations in the Magdalens, of course, being very small destination, are more of a challenge to get all the time. And we've decided to maximize our time there with heading out the first day and going directly there. And of course, we'll go by way of the Confederation Bridge, and joining us to beautiful Prince Edward Island, or Abagway as our Mi'kmaq would refer to it as, that beautiful patchwork quilt colorful province, and we'll travel up to Surrey where we'll board the ferry. Another beautiful visual of the bridge itself. And like I said, I'm going to turn it over to Donna now, who's going to tell us all about our wonderful experience, and I'll be back throughout the presentation or at the end to answer your questions and to do a summation of everything. So Donna, it's all yours.
Thank you, Richard. The first picture that you see there, we're going to be going on the ferry, 5-hour crossing. That's going to take us from Surrey, Prince Edward Island to Capomel on the Magdalen Islands. It's a 5-hour crossing, but it's very, very smooth going across. and there's lots to keep busy on the ferry itself. You have the cafeteria, dining room, there's a bistro there, gift shop, tourist information center where we can pick up some maps. And there's also a bar there with live music, comfortable seating. You can also, if it's a nice day, you can sit outside. Very, very smooth crossing. I'm not the best boat person, but I certainly don't mind that ferry at all. It's great.
Donna, that's an understatement. I always say Donna gets so emotional. It's like her big worry. It took us years to talk her into doing this trip and many of the trips that involve a ferry. So I said, when people ask me if it's rough on the way to the Magdalen Islands, I said, if Donna can do it, anyone can.
No, it's great. It's perfect. Every time I've gone, it's been very, very smooth. And the map of the Magdalen Islands is there. As you can see, it's an archipelago, 40 miles long, an area of about 79 square miles. And there's 8 main islands that you see. 6 are connected by sand dunes, and the other 2 are accessible by boat. So you've got Entry Island, which will be the first one that we'll see as we approach the Magdalens from the ferry. There's a shot of Entry Island there. So you'll have Entry, Bryan Island, Grand Entree, Grosse Île, Pointe au Loup, Har Maison, Havre Aubert, and Cap au Mel. And Cap au Mel is where we're going to be staying for our visit at the Magdalen Islands. That's where our hotel is going to be located. So this is part of our group looking out at Entry Island, getting some pictures as we're making our way into dock. And you can see this is a view too. You can see the sand dunes. You can see how these islands are all connected. After we come off the ferry, it's a 5-minute drive to our hotel. So we're going to have supper on the ferry. The ferry leaves at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's a 5-hour crossing. We'll have supper, and once we have our supper, it'll be time to take some pictures, dock, come right off the dock into the hotel. And this is our beautiful hotel. As you can see, the Atlantic Tours motor coach parked there. And it's in Cap au Mel, which is the main shopping business area of the Magdalen Islands. And within walking distance of our hotel, you have all kinds of restaurants, you have a pharmacy, you have the hospital right across the street. So lots of places you can walk, wine stores, want to go out and have a drink, there's pubs. So lots to walk to right in that particular area. And the hotel is really, really nice. So after we get settled in and start our day 2 is going to be a touring day of the Magdalene. So we're going to start off having breakfast at the hotel, and then we're going to do some local touring. We're going to be heading out and seeing some of the beautiful scenery here. I mean, look at this. It's just gorgeous, and you're going to see sites like this every day of the tour. Absolutely beautiful. And we're going to be heading out to a Tang de Nord in the morning. We stop for pictures. This tour is a very slow paced tour. It's, you know, some tours are very fast paced and very, very busy. This is a slower paced tour. It's very relaxing. It's very beautiful. And you can just see everybody get into the relaxed mode of the Magdalens. It's, you know, it's so beautiful. And being there just relaxed. Everybody really enjoys it. You can see some of our passengers here taking pictures as we make our way along.
Donna, did you already mention the population of the Magdalen Islands?
No, the population of the Magdalens is roughly around 13,000 people. And we're driving along here. This is the beautiful view, as you can see, with the and the many, many beaches. There's over 300 kilometers of beaches on the Magdalen Islands. And if we stop, like I say, a lot of times so people can take pictures, and most groups actually want to go down on all of these different beaches and have a little bit of walk around, stretch their legs, and take some more pictures. We're making our way through to Tang de Nord here. We're stopping at one of the lighthouses to take pictures here. And when we get to Tang North, you'll see this sculpture of the fishermen. It's a fishing community. You'll see some fishing boats that are docked there in port, but they also have some small little gift shops that you can visit there, and lots of folk art. Like as you're driving along, coming into these little communities, looking out the window, you're just wanting to stop every 5 minutes to take pictures because it's so beautiful. And with the folk art sitting out on people's lawns, it's very unique. This is one of the shops there in Tang North that you can visit as well. A lot of gift shops, but they're local gift shops, so you're getting stuff made by the locals. You're not necessarily getting a lot of stuff that's coming in from away. Going to do a stop in Tang North, do a little bit of picture taking and shopping in some of the shops, and then we're going to continue our morning tour of the Magdalenes. We're going to do a stop here at Saint Pierre Le Grenier Church, and this was built in 1876. It's the second largest wooden church in North America, and there were many shipwrecks off the coast of the Magdalenes, over 400 shipwrecks. So what they did is they actually took the wood from these shipwrecks and they used it to build this church. So every piece of wood was blessed before it was used in the construction of the church. And there you can see the size of it. It's just massive. You have to remember that the church many years ago was the focus of the community, but in places like the Magdalenes, where these islands are so small, these communities are so small, that the church a lot of times is still the focus of the community today. It's a central gathering point or meeting point for people. Everyone knows everyone because of the small populations. So any weddings or events or anything in your particular community, the church would be the place to go and the place where people would gather. This is inside the church. As you can see, it's absolutely beautiful. We learn all about the history of the church. Someone in there doing a talk. You can see our people gathered there listening, learning all about the church as well when we do our visit there. And there's another picture of the altar. Isn't it beautiful? After we do our visit at the church, we'll make our way back to Cap O'Mel, and we're going to have an included lunch, a really nice lunch. And after we have our lunch, we're going to head out for an afternoon of touring again. And our first stop in the afternoon is Glassware Medusa. And La Méduse is jellyfish, and that's the name of the glass blowing company. They started in 1985. It's a beautiful shop that they have in there. We're going to be able to view some of the items that they have for sale, and we're also going to be able to view them doing the glass blowing. They're going to do a demonstration for us, and the stuff is absolutely gorgeous in here. As you can see some of it there, very beautiful. A lot of people pick up an item to bring back home as a souvenir. You can see them doing the glass blowing demonstration there as well. And then we'll do a little bit of touring around, making stops, taking pictures, and making our way to our next excursion en mer. And that's a cave and cliff boat tour. And the picture that you're looking at there is a Zodiac, but we're actually going on a tour boat. So it's going to be an enclosed boat with a guide on board, doing a narration. We're going to learn all about the Magdalen Islands. We're going to learn about the marine life, the seabirds. There's about 300 species of birds there, all the different types of seals on the Magdalenes, the different types of whales, the different industries, including the fishing industry. So it's very educational, but they make it very fun as well. And we're going to go out on that cave and cliff tour. It's very calm again for anybody who's worried about boats. It's very calm. This is just a picture of a boat that we took from our boat cruise as we were making our way along. And this is one of the sea caves. And when you're on the cave and cliff boat tour, you actually come very close to these sea caves, as you can see inside. And the scenery is just absolutely beautiful. You know, I've been on many tours, and I've not seen this in any other area other than the Magdalens. Especially getting close up like this is wonderful, and a lot of our passengers have remarked on that as well. You can see some more of the beautiful scenery. Can you see how calm the water is?
Donna, it just looks like sculpture to me. It's incredible, beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful. You get the red sandstone. You have gray sandstone and red sandstone. Um, you know, similar to what you would see in Prince Edward Island. After we do the cave and cliff boat tour, that's going to bring us up to supper time, and we're going to head back to the hotel. Just up the street from the hotel, you'll see the Sentinel de Littoral, and this is a paved trail. It's 2 kilometers long, paved trail that you can go for a walk. And on the trail, there's actually the start of a foot of 185 stairs that go up the side of the mountain. And there's all kinds of benches that you can stop and have a seat, catch your breath. The views from up here, once you get to the top, are spectacular. I think everybody pretty much does this at some point in the evening when they're out in the evening walking around, because it's almost across the street from your hotel. Go up here and take some beautiful pictures.
Well, you've got a few nights to deal with because you unpack for 4 nights, so you have lots of great opportunities.
Yes, so you could do the stairway one night, you could do the 2-kilometer walk another night, so.
Sunrise, sunset, lots of options.
Yes, exactly.
Other view.
And this is a view going up those stairs. As you can see, it's just beautiful, and we're not even at the top yet. It's beautiful. So then they're going to go off and have dinner. There's lots of choices for dinner. You can go to a pub for dinner. You can go to an expensive French restaurant for dinner. You can go to A&W for dinner. So there's a few cheaper options, and then there's a few higher, more expensive options, and so on. Lots of places that you can go and have a drink or listen to music. You can have beer, their local beer. They make wine and they call it beer over there, but it's actually fortified wine that they have. And so it's something you might want to try over there as well, and sit down, listen to some music, and head back to the hotel for a good night's sleep. And then day 3, we'll head off for another day of touring. And first thing we're going to do in the morning there is we're going to visit Fumar Danton, and that's a traditional herring smokehouse, and it's the Arsenault family. And the smokehouse has been in their family for generations, and we're going to learn all about the traditional way of smoking herring. So there's the smokehouse there in the picture. You can see our folks walking by. They're taking pictures of it, and we'll actually be able to see the smoked herring inside, as you see there. But before we go to see this, we're actually going to go into a theater area that they have, and they're going to do a history about the fishing on the Magdalenes and about smoking herring, the process, how it's involved, how many people are employed, the effects of the lobster fishery and what it's had, what effects it had on the herring industry. It's very, very, very interesting. We're going to go out and look at the smokehouse itself. And then after that, they have a shop there, and we're going to go in there, and we're going to have an opportunity to try the smoked herring. If you'd like to try some, you could certainly do that there. And if you'd like to purchase some, you could do that there as well. Very, very interesting. Even if you're not into fishing, you'll find that it's very, very interesting. Our next stop is going to be at Musée de la Mer, the Museum of the Sea, and it's located in the community of Lagrave. This is a guided tour, and the guide that we have there is going to tell you all about the Magdalen Islands, how it was formed, who settled it, why they settled there, the different industries that we had through the years, what the industries are today, all about the flora and the fauna of the Magdalens. It's very, very interesting museum, and we'll be there until lunchtime. You can see our group. The guide is there giving them a talk in the main area of the museum before we go into one of the private rooms. And you can see on the walls here, some of the local artists have their artwork hanging in the museum as well that you can have a look at. So after the museum, we're going to make our way into Le Grave. The museum is actually located in Le Grave, so we're already there. Le Grave is the word for pebble. It's a pebble beach, and the reason I'm mentioning that is because there are so many beaches in the Magdalens, and they're all gorgeous, huge sand dune beaches. But this one is actually a pebble beach, and it's like an artisan community. You can see there's all kinds of little shops, cafes, restaurants, and the shops here are unique in the fact that they're locally owned. They're not chain shops or anything like that. Handmade jewelry, handmade crafts, paintings, and so on. They're small, and you'll have an opportunity to visit those when we're in Le Grave. And also, there's a couple of pubs there, restaurant, sandwich shop, bakery. This is Le Grave. You can, spend some time there visiting those shops, grabbing something for your lunch. And in behind all of these little shops, you have the Le Grave beach there, which is the Pebble Beach. And a lot of people even walk along there picking up some sea glass. And this is in Le Grave too. This is a pretty picture. A lot of times you'll just see people sitting in those chairs, just admiring the view. It's like I say, it's a slow-paced tour. It's very relaxing. This is not a hurry up, let's go, hustle bustle type of tour. It's just a beautiful, relaxing, enjoy nature kind of a tour. Before leaving Le Grave, we make a stop at Atelier Cotier, and this is an artisan studio. They make all kinds of things in here using local materials, and they give us a little tour of what they do in there. They use local materials such as sand. On display there, they have a nativity scene that was made with sand and a bonding agent, a huge big nativity scene for sale that was absolutely stunning, as well as all kinds of other things that are made locally. But this would be a little bit higher end type of thing, but very, very beautiful and worth the visit. And Dune de Sade, South Dune Beach. We always do a visit to Dune de Sade. It's absolutely beautiful, as well as a lot of the other beaches on the Magdalens. But this particular beach has lots and lots of sea caves. So if I'm lucky enough to be doing this tour, the first thing that I always do when I pick up my paperwork is to just check and see when tide is. And the reason I want to go at low tide is so that we can walk on the beach and actually go into some of these sea caves. It's absolutely beautiful. The people just love it. It's something really, really different. I mean, we're in Atlantic Canada. We have beaches all over the place, but to go into these caves is something different. As you can see, this is a beautiful picture there of some of the caves. And this one was taken from inside the cave when we were on the tour. The people love this. The people just love it. It's leisurely. We leisurely walk. Here we are coming down to the beach. Leisurely walk. Is a beautiful day. We rolled up our pants, and some of them had shorts and capris on and sandals, and we all walked together up and around the beach. We took pictures and laughed and carry on. Just great. Just great.
And as you say, Donna, you always check on the times on this to have it work so that you can then visit it. And with our time being leisurely on the island, you can do this a couple times if you need to make everything work.
That's right, and change things around to make it work. It's great. And there we are walking up the beach. Day 4. This is a leisure day. We call it a leisure day because there's time there to do your own thing if you want to, but we will also plan some activities if you'd like to join us and do some other things on the Magdalen Islands as well. Or if you want to go back and revisit something, you can do that as well. And it also gives us an opportunity if there's weather or anything we need to change things around, or the tide tables or whatever, we can use this day to fit some extra things in. This is another view of one of the islands. And you know that we're driving around the different islands, and you would think that they look very much the same, but they don't. Like this particular island that you're looking at, you don't see very many trees. And then the next one you drive onto will be full of trees. So it's quite different. Like they're very unique. And there's another picture of one of the boats that we took a picture of. This was on one of the tours that I did.
Just all these beautiful structures, and the view you'd have from that house looking out over the Gulf of St. Lawrence would be incredible.
Nice, hey? Day 5. So we're going to be heading back to Nova Scotia. So we'll be up early in the morning and we'll have our included breakfast again. And then it's time to get into the ferry lineup. But luckily we're only across the street from the ferry, so it's a 5-minute drive. We get into the ferry lineup and you're going to have your lunch on the ferry, and then we're going to come off back in Surrey again and then start making our way back through Prince Edward Island. We'll be stopping along the way for coffee and start doing our drop-offs for the way home. Isn't that beautiful?
It's just absolutely stunning. All of these great visuals. Well, Donna, thank you for sharing the Magdalen Islands with us. Once again, you know, the idea for this tour came about, as I said, the company's been around for over 50 years. And when I joined the company 34 years ago, I saw this in National Geographic, Canadian Geographic, the Magdalen Islands. I thought, wouldn't that be a neat destination to go? So we developed this tour, and we've run it ever since. And we have many people that have done it more than once. And like you, Donna, they absolutely rave about it. And like I said, I've not been. I came up with the idea, but never got to enjoy it yet. So one of these days, I'll be joining the group and heading over either as the tour host or traveling along and sitting back and letting you do all the work, Donna. So that's
well, even looking at the pictures, I'm sure you can. Don't you feel relaxed just looking at the scenery?
I do. It's everything I love about a vacation, and I love the fact you can unpack once and just be in the heart of everything, and to be able to go have a fine dinner or something light if you want something better. We do include the breakfast every day. And one of the other things I should mention is if you're from away, you can certainly come into Halifax and we'll do a pre-night for you so you can join us, or a post-night. The other thing is this is our escorted tour, but we can also do this for you as a self-drive package, absolutely. And if you have a group of people, we can tailor make one specifically for your group, and it can just be your group that goes. So, you know, those are all important features. One of the things I always say with the Magdalen Islands, sign up early. And we still have the reduced deposits for 2021. We're only charging you $50 to put your name down on the list. And if we can't travel, and more importantly, if we can't safely travel, we will not be going. So you can either have a refund of your $50 or you can roll it to next year's date. So, you know, keep all of that in mind. We follow all public health protocols. The motor coach that you saw there, that beautiful Atlantic Tourist motor coach, we have a couple of those that have been provided by our coach partner, Coach Atlantic. And inside of those coaches, we have partitions. And when I say that, safety partitions that keep you from the guests around you. And the way it works currently is that we're allowed 75% capacity on our motor coaches. So 75%. And then we still practice physical distancing based on how you book. So if it's a group of 4 of you that are already in a bubble, you can be seated together, but if not, you'll be spread throughout the coach. So that may mean that we're allowed somewhere between 20 and 42 out of a 56 passenger coach. So once again, we will be deciding on that based on the configuration of our bookings. And like I said, it's mandatory masks on board, hand and sanitize getting on and off. We load the back of the coach first and unload from the front. and like I said, to follow all protocols to protect our guests. And like I said, we're hopeful that the Magdalens might be bubbled in with the rest of Atlantic Canada when that does happen. And even in future years, I'd recommend getting your name in early for the Magdalens because, like I said, there's limited hotels over there. It's not like we can expand the number of guests, and their cancellation requirements are fairly strict, and so we have to release rooms much further out than we do on other particular trips. So, keep all of those things in mind when you book. And, like I said, this is one of those gems that I love to promote to the rest of the world. Most people have never heard about it. And to have the luxury of such a beautiful destination right here in our backyards, and we can do it in a few days. So thank you for listening again today. And next week, our tea on Wednesday at 3 p.m. will be Newfoundland and Labrador, and we're going to be going over our touring programs there. The following week, it's going to be Canada by rail, and then there'll be other options coming following that, like other maritime getaways, some of our shorter getaways, as well as we're even going to concentrate, hopefully by fall, we may even be able to do our Quebec City Niagara Falls. But either way, it's a great adventure to showcase and listen to the dreams that will eventually come to us all as we begin to travel again. So if you have any questions, like last week, as soon as we were finished, reach out to Peggy in our reservations department at the 1-800-565-7173, extension 1, or reach out to her at reservations@atlantictours.com. Contact me anytime. We're always looking for new tour ideas and suggestions. And Donna, you did a wonderful job, and thank you for sharing the beautiful Magdalen Islands with us.
Thank you, Richard, and I hope that everybody enjoyed the presentation. It's really something unique, a destination that's unique. It's recommended by National Geographic as one of the 50 must-see destinations in Canada. And a lot of people have never heard of it. They don't know where it is. They haven't been there. Even people from Atlantic Canada, where we're so close. It'd be such a shame for you not to see it. So as Richard mentioned, you can book on the bus tour. You can do a self-drive if you want to do this with your car, where we could book all your attractions, your hotel, everything for you. So I just want to say
we have some great questions here, Donna. So I'm going to run down those. And it says, on the leisure day, would a shuttle transportation be available to go to a beach for swimming, or is there a beach for swimming within walking distance of the hotel? And I would say yes and yes, but I'll let you give more information.
There are beaches that you can walk to the hotel, from the hotel, depending how far you would be able to walk, but there are beaches within walking distance. Certainly, if people were interested in doing a shuttle to the beach to go swimming, certainly we could do that, and that wouldn't be a problem. Everything is close. Everything is close.
And the next question, is it possible to be picked up or dropped off in Prince Edward Island? Absolutely. I said anywhere's en route. Since we're going the bridge, we can go that direction, and we can pick up on the island at a location that we can predetermine. So that is no problem. The same with dropping off at the end. And for clients from outside of Nova Scotia, can pre and post nights be booked in Halifax? Yes, we have a great partner hotel, or we can use another partner hotel at the airport. When I say partner hotels, pretty much every hotel in Halifax is one of our partners, because we either deal with it on our guaranteed departure trips that do Atlantic Canada, or any of our customized programs. So we can be very flexible there and can make all the arrangements for you like we do with any of our trips. And that's all the questions that I see. So once again, thank you. And if you know of anyone that wants to be part of our tea on Wednesdays, you can let Peggy know in reservations. She'll add you to the invite list. We can also send you the recording, which we will follow up with that recording. And the plan is that these recordings will also be embedded in our website, so that you can go and re-listen or send any friends or family there as well. So that's it for now, and we'll look forward to seeing you again next week and learn all about Newfoundland and Labrador. Okay.